And so, in 3, 2, we should be here and ready. All right, so we are back. We're a little blurry. I don't know why. Why does it keep doing that? We're crystal clear over here.
Because we're black. It's because we're black. But you know, hey, we're gonna try to the game. We're trying to the game.
All right. So you should be able to hear us now. A little bit better, or a lot better. I don't know. We were interrupted by a dead battery. We switched the battery out. I do apologize for that. We are now connected to the wall power. So as long as we don't lose power to the building, we are good to go. As you see, we have added in a special guest.
Very special.
Introduce yourself. Nix.
Okay, this is going to be edited because I said, do I need to Seth or Nick? Like, which one am I going to do?
We're live, so there's no editing.
You want to edit this?
Again,
okay,
we're live. We are live. Video? Look at the screen.
All right, there you go.
Oh boy. All right, so we are back again, or I don't even know anymore. So, hello, I'm your host, Spivey. With me we have
the Princess of Valdosta, aka Princess of Norcross, is Ace motherfucking Mafia, and what's good?
And
Nix.
All right.
I feel like a peasant. It's like you have Lord so and so of so and so, so and so, and so and so, and I'm just like, I'm guy. That's it. One
right.
title on my name.
Okay. Hey, it is what it is. So, in this topic of pronouns, we added in this gentleman here because we feel like he has some interesting insight.
You just want to be controversial. That's what it is.
What?
That's what it is. You brought me in controversial.
Who would want controversy?
Because controversy makes views, and then views makes money. I better get my goddamn 10%.
I tell you what.
No, I'm kidding.
You just be
that
honest.
ain't legally binding either. Don't be like, oh, you only said 10% in the video because this makes millions, bitch. I want more.
I tell you what, you be honest and we'll work it out.
Trust me, I'll be honest. I say what's on my mind. I'm honest to a fault. Even when
honest to a fault. All right.
Period.
So we have a few people watching live. Thank you for tuning in. This is going to be a time because we have a member of LGBTQ Alphabet Soup here.
Princess. Let's put that out there. Let's put that out there. I'm the princess, but let's continue with the daily service and the daily programming.
How come straight people don't get a club? Why can't it be like, I don't know, whatever
we do? It's called the world.
Really? It really
that
is.
Doesn't sound.
And we're just living into y'all world.
Generalized.
It's called mainstream. Am I wrong?
You're right.
Mainstream.
We're just living inside of y'all world.
I guess what's mostly socially accepted.
Mostly socially accepted.
I mean, think about it. If it wasn't, then LGBTQ wouldn't be a thing. They wouldn't have to stand up for something if they weren't socially accepted. Now, yes, in modern day, they are more socially accepted than ever before, but they are still highly discriminated against.
Okay. Really?
I have to give tens where they're due. I have to get, and what he said was honest and true facts. So I have to give props where props is due.
Appreciate it.
All right, so he's not wrong. There is definitely a stigma and stereotypes and discrimination that happens in the Alphabet Soup LGBT. QATZ LMNOP.
It's the alphabet soup for me, but but yeah, there is a stigma that is pointed against the LGBT community, and I currently just wish that there can be a place where more so it's not bashed, but it's not so much normalized. But like it's almost second nature that to understand that these are another group of people that do exist and the human society. That's all currently what I'm fighting for currently.
And you say you're fighting for it?
Fighting currently.
Why do you keep leaning into the mic? Talk normal.
I mean, the volume was pretty low in the last one.
Yeah, but it's not now. We just fixed it. We went over how we adjusted that.
Anyways,
so you're yelling in people's ears now.
I think the part with the problem is it's a lack of understanding. People of what LGBTQ
hold on.
is and why they're fighting.
Remember,
it's just more like understanding of what they are, because like people naturally hate what they don't understand. They fear it, and they instantly discriminate against it. If they don't understand something, they don't like it. It's like they have to have answers to feel safe, and people will always choose safety over everything else in most cases. I mean,
come over. You're off the.
I'm getting off a little bit of a tangent here, but I mean, even if you look at the most basic needs, the pyramid of basic needs. I can't remember who made the pyramid of basic needs, but safety is literally one of the most important basic needs. It's like one of the first things in that pyramid that you need. So when people don't have that safety, they don't have that understanding. They don't understand something. They don't feel safe. They fear it. They discriminate against it, and they don't want anything to do with it, and they push it away because they don't want it to exist. They don't want it to be there because it makes them uncomfortable. No one likes feeling uncomfortable. So because they don't understand like why people feel the way they do or why they do what they do, speaking of LGBTQ, like for example, if you're just gay and people don't understand why you're gay, people have misunderstandings, of course, but basically because they don't understand like why that is, they instantly discriminate against it for those reasons I said earlier.
Okay.
Go ahead and say what you gonna say.
Right,
I know you guys. I don't know if I should say this.
Wait. So the point is, this is about pronouns, and we were talking about do you acknowledge people's pronouns of choice? Let's start there because you weren't here for the first.
It's tricky. It's tricky because
it's tricky.
I don't really understand what the pronouns are. Like I've heard "your" and I know. I saw some lady on the news one time trying to say that people should like "your" was one of the pronouns they wanted to change things to. Like I know they wanted to get rid of he, she. I think they, him.
And on in my opinion, I feel like those pronouns, and it's not to push the other people's opinions to the side, but I currently do not see why that should be an extra pronoun added to
when you would deserve.
Yeah, I have seen in the media where people want to be called zer, zim. Like I don't like. Me personally, I understand it's what we've been raised upon, that there's only male and female genitalia. Yet, you have people who doesn't want to be classified as him or her. Yet, I personally feel like...
you got to remember that now there's gender and then there's gender identity.
Understandable.
Right. So,
and with that being said, what I may say may come as offensive or against my community, but yet it's only to open my community's eyes to see that it's not to be a biggest or in a way, but there's only two biological bodies that a human can be formed in, which is male and female. Now, true, there is a instance where a human may be born with both genitalias.
And that's where a lot of people try to argue.
And where is a lot of the confusion may be. My personal opinion, if a female is biologically born with male and female genitalia, I feel like it's up to the being himself to determine whether or not they feel more masculine about themselves or more feminine about themselves.
Well, to that end, the problem is, in a lot of those situations, by the time or around the age of 5 to 7, the parents has already made the choice for the child and either had the penis removed or, you know what I'm saying? And so they'll raise the child how they want.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
What they want.
the child is too young to make a decision like that. They're just born. They don't know anything. I mean, they see sunlight and they're just freaking out. Everything's overwhelming to a newborn child until they're literally hear their mother's voice, which gives them comfort. Which is why most cases when babies are born, they cry, but as soon as they hear their mother's voice in their arms, they stop. Because when they first come in the world, it's like, "Whoa, my God, what the fuck's going on here? What's going on here? What happened? I was all cool in the womb. After they don't do the womb, but still, I was cool in the womb. Everything was chill, and everything was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? It's just like that for them. So it's a very overwhelming experience. Now, going back to what I was saying earlier, is that children they had to learn. The reason I brought that up because they had to learn to like take things in one at a time. The concept of gender to them, it's so far out there that it's not even I don't know how you explain it. It's like knowledge that humans haven't even discovered yet. It's not something that they even grasp or even understand. So it's not something they'll ever even think about. I don't even know if babies, I'm sure they think, but still, they can't make that decision. And if I feel personally that if you just left they're called are they called hermaphrodites? Is that offensive, or is there a different word? I honestly don't know.
Me personally, hermaphrodites will be considered. And this is just my opinion again.
It's the boy and girl, right?
Yeah,
both. But is that offensive to them? I don't know.
I wouldn't say it's offensive.
That's the only word I've ever known to call them.
And that's the reason why I say it. I personally wouldn't feel like it's offensive because that's the only word that society has made more normalized to say when it comes to have both male and female genitalia.
But going back to my point, the reason why I say that because the parent, I feel the parent needs to decide whether it's going to be a boy or girl. I mean, because the way I see it is that what do you feel is going to be more complicated and fucked up for the child? Either A, the parents choose it's going to be a boy. They leave the penis and then do whatever they do, whatever doctor you leave the vagina, or the vice versa, right? And they grow up thinking they're one gender, but then they feel they want to be something else. That's fine. They can switch because they are both, and they do feel it's just whatever they feel is more predominant for them. That's fine. But is it more fucked up for the parent to say, "Hey, it should be a boy," and then one day when the kid grows up and wants to be something else, let them be something else? Or is it more fucked up for them to have both, and they just not know what the fuck's going on? They're growing up, they start going to school, they see girls and boys, and they start hearing about peepees and vaginas. They're like, oh, wait, you only have one? I have both? What the fuck? And then they might say that accidentally, and now everyone's making fun of them. You know what I mean? Like, they don't know what the fuck to do.
Okay, so now that gives a very good concept. So if a child is born with both, a hermaphrodite, okay, should the parents not make a choice when the child is ready for school age? There's no bathroom set for a hermaphrodite. So the child would have to pick one of the two doors.
Yeah.
Now, let's say the child picks the boy door.
I just had something really ready.
I don't know if it's bad thought, but it's like...
I have something ready for it. I have something ready for it. I'm not even making
fun of it. Just like, I literally don't know.
Something ready for it.
Well, it's like this one just... If they have... Assuming they have both, whenever they're old enough to go to school, does one just stop working? Or do they both go at the same time? Like... I don't know.
I have something ready for that argument.
I mean,
I'm just waiting.
Well, okay.
I'm more so asking a question.
No, I got you. I'm baffled. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. That one is, I don't know. I'd have to try to look up some scientific journals on that scenario. But so let's say the child, because you say the child is not ready to make that choice, and I can understand that. So let's say we skip ahead until puberty, right? So now you may have budding breasts, or you may have a large penis, or you may have both, because again, I don't know. At what point do you say, you know what, I need to start using the other bathroom? And then if the person, let's say I personally feel more feminine, but they have this big penis between their legs, or small penis, depending on how the genetics work out. And then the sexual preference is also female, and they're using the female bathroom. Is it a bit awkward as they are now potentially being able to be lascivious, to be lecherous towards the females that they are interested in the bathroom with them, in the showers with them.
Well, here's the thing. It goes back to what I was saying.
If they should get arrested or go to juvie,
no, because
do
again,
you put them in the boy side, the girl side?
Again, they are both. They are literally female and male, which means they can go to both restrooms. Now, how they look will completely determine how people treat them when they go into those restrooms.
Yeah,
you just can't be like, oh, I look like a guy, right? Now, I know people are like, oh, you're assuming my gender. Okay, first of all, fuck you. If you look like a dude, people are going to assume you're a fucking dude because you look like a fucking dude. And if you don't like it, fucking change it. And if you don't, if you look like a female, people assume you're female.
Some people ain't got
my point is that if
some people ain't got the money to change.
Understandable.
But look, Tyshawn
understandable.
isn't a rich guy. But
whoa.
Understandable. And Seth, I have to give you flowers on this one. I have to give you flowers on this one. There are some males who try to go for the perception of being a female, but yet don't have the financial benefits to go into that full transformation. So there are some things that they would have to do a little extra to make them come off as more feminine.
Right.
And that's what currently where we're standing at as a society. We have males that want to be females but don't have the financial beings to make them as more feminine as they want to be.
Now, whether someone who's born solely male that wants to be female that can go into a different female bathroom, that's a different argument.
Exactly.
But not to get too much off track, if you are hermaphrodite, if you are both, because you are both, you have to look like. You're going to end up looking like one or the other. I mean, if you look completely neutral and you walk in, I guess no one can, they can't really tell. I mean, they're just probably going to look at you awkward like, but they're not going to be, I don't want to be a dick and say anything. They're just going to stay quiet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they don't know for sure. Most people anyways. So, but I mean, you're still both. So you have the right to choose which one you want to go into. But if you are both and you look more like something and you walk into the opposite,
it's going to look like something more.
Common sense, you have to expect people to react. Because
that's just human nature.
You can't just be like, oh, somebody walks to the female restroom looks like a dude. I mean, women, they're gonna get kind of freaked out. Like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Because but
you can't just have them assume, oh, you know what? That's a hermaphrodite. Oh, it's fine. You know,
and
how would they know?
And I'm glad he said that. I'm glad he said that because there do be times where you have males who feel more like females that want to go into the female bathroom, but yet they still look like males, so it almost gives off as if you're trying to be a perv, you're trying to be a creep, and you trying to see the female body. Like, you have some males, once again, like I said, you do have males who do want to perceive themselves as a female, but yet you don't have the means to carry that female entity or that female presence. So it's more so of, once again, I have to hold accountable my community to this extent. Like, there's some things that currently financially that you can't support yet, but although you feel that way, there's also different ways you can express that's how you feel not as a human, but not as a male, but as a human being. There's a way that you can express those type of feelings. Now, as far as rushing into the male and female bathroom, my thing is when you can give off more of, you give off a very feminine energy.
Yeah, I personally really can't tell.
Really?
Hold on. So, Charles, to reply, biggest is referring to the term for bigotry. So they're not trying to be a bigot. Is what our friend here was implying. They're not trying to be a bigot. Biggest is their personal preference to say that word. How is this about pronouns? It's about identifying the person first and then going into what do you call that person once you have identified? Because we still haven't identified the person.
It sounds like we transitioned to transgenderism. Okay. So I think the question should be, if you are hermaphrodite aside, if you are born solely female or male, you grow up one day and say, I feel like the opposite, so you become trans, and then say you do have that surgery. You have the money one day, whether your parents pay for it, you pay for it, doesn't matter. You had the surgery, and now you have the parts to walk into the opposite bathroom. Now the question is, can you? Because there's two arguments. One hand, the argument is you're still born the opposite sex.
I'm glad he said that again.
The other argument is, but you should accept me for what I want to be.
So hold on. So what? So because the question is still in the pronoun scenario. Does the school or job make the person identify as male or female on their application? And then, if so, is there a bathroom for that gender identity that they mark?
I feel, I'm just going to say this, in my opinion, I feel if someone was transgender and they filled out an application that, say they're born male, they transgender, they're female, I'm pretty sure they would put in the application that they are female. Because that's what they want to be identified as.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, doing anything else is just kind of putting more stress in against you. Now, if it's official government stuff, I don't fucking know.
All right, so now what?
And Seth, I time out, okay. Please.
Because there's something you can't get away with, and some things is like really strict. But go ahead and make your opinion.
Seth, and I do thank you for mentioning that, because my opinion, when and it's no shade to my trans community out there, but it's going to take more than you just going to go get the surgery to go, to make yourself feel more feminine. It's going to have to take time. Like, you can't just wake up one morning and be like, yo, I'm feminine, I want to be a female, this and the third, blah, blah, blah. It's going to take, because just minus the transition itself, a female, biologically a female, they have to go through more trials and tributes to become that woman.
Tribulations.
Yes, they have to do more to become, what they're capable of. So for and it's not to go against my community. Like, I give my community so much respect, because just the matter of telling the world, well, this is what I am, you're gonna take me or you're gonna leave it the way it is. I'm living to live me. But just in the matter of days to say, oh, well, I'm a female, like, that's almost as if you're saying, well, fuck females, this and the third, blah, 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 I'm a trans female, so I feel like I'm a female. But yet, you still have females who deal with niggas trying to hit on them at a young age. You got niggas who want to, put them through all this other shit, minus the fact that they have their own shit to go with. They want to be trans females.
Hold on, Tyshawn. Are we still on?
Yeah, it's still going.
Okay.
The audio.
So whether or not they want to be trans females, trans males, that y'all don't have to go through what a cisgender female have to go through. And what I mean by cisgender, I mean a female who was born a female. Like, females still have to go through the period transition. They still gotta worry about getting pregnant. They gotta still worry about all this other good shit. But as trans people, as being concerned, I understand that we want to be noticed, yet we can't take the spotlight off of the females that already exist biologically.
So, see, I'm a more of a believer of science, which is why I'm not religious. I don't know if there's a God. If there is one, I don't think he's all holy or all powerful. But I say this because I believe in science, and I believe you are born male or female. And if you're born both, you're both.
Exactly.
There's no argument like, oh, what about the people who get both? They're just both. It's like, oh, well,
you only have two biological parts
because they had female parts. Okay, so they are also female and they're male. That doesn't mean there's not two genders. Now, that being said, I think the problem is that it's going to be, of course, individually based as far as how far they take it. But I think when it comes to trans, they have to know their limits. there has to be a limit to like what they can do and what they can't do. Like a trans male, I guess, is a male turned into a female, shouldn't play in female sports. I don't care how many modifications you do to your body. You still have an athletic and physical superiority to females. Now, if you're
that case is currently a big issue because there's a lot of transitioned men to women who are trying to do
and
running and stuff.
Right, exactly.
Fucking super debowed arms and stuff, or much more muscular.
And look, I know there are women out there that are stronger than men, okay? So before you start yapping your shit, talking, well, men aren't always stronger than women. You know, you're right. But in most cases, and
just biologically,
men are physically stronger
than females.
And superior to women.
You're yelling right in the mic.
I told you I get heated. I told you I'm going to.
And I love that. I love that.
Let me just back the mic up a little bit.
I love that.
People. But anyway, so yes, I know there are women that are stronger than men. Hell, everybody knows what the WWE is. The freaking wrestlers there. Any one of those women would beat my ass. Okay, and I'm a man. I'm not ashamed to accept that. I know my fucking limits. But that being said, trans men transferring to a female still should not be able to play sports with other females. I don't care. It's okay if you want to be female. There's nothing wrong with that. To me, you're still born a guy, but if you want me to accept you as a female, I will. I will respect
you
that.
won't accept the playing female sports.
No.
So there's a line. Do you have a line?
And again, so what I said at the very beginning, they have to know their limits.
So, hold on. Wait. So let's find out what those limits are. Would you accept a trans female? So someone who was born male.
Before, just to be clear,
wait.
I know. Okay. I just want to make sure there's no confusion. Trans female, what is that? Is that female to male?
That's male to female.
Male to
female.
Okay,
male to female.
So if I say trans male, it's
that's female to male.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah.
All the viewers out there are watching, like, which one are they talking about? You know what I mean?
Right.
So what was your question?
So would you accept a trans female going into the same bathroom where your daughter is?
Yeah.
Okay.
The reason why I say that,
to be honest, I'm gonna let Seth finish, but I want to say what I have to say.
The reason why I say that is because they believe they are female. Okay. They want to be treated as female. There might be an extreme case where a trans female goes into a female bathroom and rapes another female. You know, there's probably that. There probably is that. And again, going back to physically being superior, the women would have, whoever being raped would have that disadvantage, clearly. Now, that being said, I mean, I don't see that really happening. I mean, if someone really just wanted to rape somebody, it wouldn't matter if they're trans or not. They would just walk to the female restroom and rape them.
What is the move? Look at
no shade.
Legendary.
No shade.
Legendary.
No shade.
All
okay.
Right, so that one, I'll give you that. That, I'm with you 100%.
Now, my side on it, now, I do agree with Seth. I really do. Now, my opinion, it depends on how long that the transgender female has been going through the transition.
I didn't mention that,
Because you can have some males who just started going to transition to be like, oh, well, I feel like I just deserve to be that I deserve to be in the female bathroom because I understand that trans females want to be females, and I understand that, but yet it doesn't just take you saying that, oh, well, I feel like I'm a female, that I deserve to be in a female bathroom. Like, I feel like it all deals with time.
I think it's going to come down to preparation. Like,
really? You
know where you're going to go, and you know if you have to use the restroom. One of the things you should ask yourself is, in case I have to use the restroom, can I? Because, one, if you've had the surgery, go for it. You know, go to the female restroom. But if you haven't, you still have a schlong,
and you identify as a female,
woman,
but
you dress up. Now, how convincing you are as a woman, that's a different story. But I mean, now you have to choose. You got to choose your battles. You know what I mean? I feel that this comes down to preparation. Use the restroom before you leave, or before you exactly go to a fucking gas station or something, or an outhouse or something, whatever you can find. Use the fucking trees, the woods, whatever. I'm not ashamed. I've done that when I was a kid. Go pee out in the woods. do what you gotta do before you get where you need to go, so that you don't have to walk into that situation. Because if you do,
so you don't have to get into those type of situations where you feel like you're being cornered.
You're just putting yourself in that situation.
Really,
and who can you blame? Because if you still have a strong and you walk to the female restroom, sure, if the females won't know because the doors are closed.
Exactly,
but so I get that, but I feel like we are woefully away from our topic. Our topic is pronouns, not trans identity. Because we make this way
technically, it kind of ties into pronouns because we're talking about whether or not. Right. Of course, you may see yourself as being a female, but how much of the time have you took to actually know or been through the process that a female have been through?
All the letters in the LGBTQ aren't the T's the ones who are completely pushing the pronouns the hardest.
Really, and that's me coming from the community itself.
If you're a man and you're gay, but you're still a man. Right? Okay. If you're trans, there's no point of pushing. Where all the confusion comes in, and I think this is why trans are pushing pronouns the hardest. So I think we're still on topic because we are talking about trans, and out of all of them, they are the ones
that is pushing the hardest, and that is making this confusion.
I give you a little
that you have to identify with a certain gender to use a certain bathroom.
Well, okay, so let me ask this because I need some clarification. For your side, you're okay with someone who is trans using the same bathroom with your daughter, and that's fine.
Well, just to clarify, what Tyson was saying, if they're really far into it, like they've had the surgery, like everything, sure. But if you still have a dick, I'm sorry.
You're still considered to be a man. You're still considered to be a man.
So, and then for your side, you say that there is a definite level that you need to be at. Or a goal
and it's to be honest, like yes, like I feel like you can't just wake up and say like, oh well, I think I was a female. I would like me personally, I told a few of my family members I feel like God was supposed to make me a female, this and that, but that don't make me to want to go to a female bathroom to go use the bathroom. Like no, I understand, like with me living as long as I have currently, I have talked to a lot of females and they were like, well yeah, this is what I've been going through and this and the third. So just me putting myself in that type of predicament, it almost levels the playing field for me. Like I understand that I'm a male but I don't feel like I'm supposed to be like masculine. So I can almost sympathize with a female going through because
when you say a female going through, you mean biological female?
A biological female.
Okay.
A biological female. Because I do have niggas do hit me up on these apps to be like, that will look at my pictures and be like, oh, well, yeah, that's a female, this and that. But I'm not a female. Like
my friend Andrew that came up here, he thought you were female. He really did. He's like, I thought that was a chick. I'm like, nope, that's a dude.
And it do come off like when I do take my pictures, I want to look more feminine than I am.
Yeah.
And it's only natural for people who are in my type of community to look what they feel more than what they naturally look like.
Yeah, to kind of go back to what I was saying is that how far you are, because how far you are into the transition will determine how easy it is for you.
Exactly.
Because if you're you still have,
if you're still in the beginning stage, you can't say that you're a female.
Looks are going to be completely subjective based on who you're dealing with. Some people are going to think that's definitely a dude. Some people think you're definitely a female. So when you're walking to the bathroom, you got to choose your battles. Either I'm dressed up to the female? I still have my dick. I'm dressed up completely as a female, and I feel I look
willing to go with the
question
consequences.
You should ask before walking to the female restroom: do they think I'm a female? Because I'm sorry, but some trans women or
females,
trans females still look like dudes.
You're right.
And I'm sorry, but if you walk to that female restroom,
I'm glad you say that.
I don't care. Look, maybe it depends on the point of view, but you're running a risk, and then now you have to ask yourself, well, I don't want to run into that, so maybe I should go to the male restroom. But now I'm
glad
you
say that.
You're gonna get judged either way.
And before you say anything, because I know you're gonna come with something after that, Seth, I'm glad you say that, because there are some males who would like to identify themselves as a female, but yet you still have the features of a male that kind of argues what you're trying to, the look that you're trying to go for. Like, there's a certain look, like if you're trying to go for
biologically, if you still have it, you still produce more hormones, right? So it kind of counteracts what you're trying to make. So what you're trying to
go for, like if you, now there are, to be honest, let me say this before I go into my argument. There are some males that dress like females but want to identify as males because they know that's what they are. Now there are some people in the earth that are biologically males but want to identify as females. I get that. But yet, until you do the work that comes into being a female, you can't really identify yourself as a female.
It's like a rite of passage, I guess.
Yeah. No, like, you can't...
how much you believe something.
But you have to put in that work.
Believes it.
Really. Like, you have to put into that work. Like, it all comes down to... And I understand people want the respect that they want people to perceive them as, but yet, what are you doing as a human being to give off that either perception or whether or not illusion? Like, what are you doing to give that energy off? Like, you want people to see you as a female. What are you doing to perceive yourself as a female? That's going to make people say, like, well, yeah, that's a female. Da da da, woo woo woo.
Alright, so we got a 3-minute wrap up here.
Oh, I had a couple of topics I was going to bring.
Well, you said you got to
bring this on for another hour at least.
You said you got to go by 11. It's 10:36.
Yeah.
I said 3-minute wrap up.
Alright, so
final thoughts.
20 minutes.
Here's what I gotta say.
I don't know. I'm gonna go. I'll go tomorrow.
From now on,
I still gotta do laundry.
Okay, well then you can stay and talk then. But I'm still gonna say my point. I am a heterosexual male. How?
I'm just kidding. He is. I had to put you out there like
that. Boy, stop. Okay, so, but should I, for example, be told that I'm accused of a crime that's going to send me to jail for life or prison?
I forgot to talk about that too. Please understand,
at that point, I am female all day long. Whatever it takes to send me to the female side of the jail.
Oh, so now here, this is where we're going, where they should go.
Oh boy,
we went into politics about it.
Oh boy, should I need to go to jail for the rest of my life?
But to be honest, I'm glad you did mention that.
I'm
because I do feel like some people in the LGBT community do be getting toxic where they feel like they just have to be pronounced as such gender when it's really not that case. Like, you still give off masculine vibes, and you can still give a masculine
This goes back to when I said knowing your limits. You're going to the boy jail.
Exactly.
Because look, if you're a man if you're trans female, and you go to the female, again, this goes back to whether trans people should play female sports. You're superior. More than likely, you're going to be superiorly stronger than them. Which means if you want to start raping bitches.
Now,
what's to stop you?
Now,
you're just gonna overpower everyone.
Now, from what I've seen in the media, they have where it is a alternative lifestyle. For people who feel as if they are biologically male, but they feel more feminine. Right. They have a spot for those people, and it's not trying to isolate them, but it's trying to make them feel more comfortable with themselves.
Let's be realistic here. Here in the South, we probably don't have that shit.
Understandable. That's why I said nowadays. As far as
my understanding goes, prisons here in the South are all
male or female.
Well, they're privately owned.
Most prisons are privately owned.
And that's old money. And maybe I'm being a bigot here, but old money seems, to me, in my opinion, from my point of view, to be stuck in their old ways.
Yeah.
You're off camera, by the way. You're quite.
So more than likely, they don't give a fuck about. Why would they spend money for a designated trans? They don't even give a shit about the trans movement. If anything, more than likely, they're against it. They're the same people that say, we don't want abortion, which is a whole different topic.
We don't want slavery.
Jesus Christ is almighty. The South will rise again. Shit like that. I'm talking about like the most right. I hate saying like right wing and left wing because look, let's all look.
You gotta say it. You gotta say it.
But in this case, I feel like the people they're on the farthest. When you think about the right hand side, they're the farthest that you can go, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like those are the people who own the prisons here in the South, and you're not gonna have that option if you get thrown in prison here in the South. You're not.
And
now I could be wrong. Maybe there are some facilities somewhere, which there probably will be. But I mean, the chances of you even getting into one
is slim to none. And
forget about it.
Once again, I would like to say I do thank Seth for bringing that topic up, because we do have more facilities that are just male or female. Like whether or not you're biologically a male, that's what they're gonna put you at. Whether or not you're biologically female, that's what they're gonna put you at. I personally feel like nowadays it's a more upcoming or more a more naturalized. I won't say naturalized.
It's a newer concept.
Yeah, so it's more so we're trying to get it normalized that these type of people do exist. So I currently feel like they are trying to make more space to where that the our trans community don't feel like we're being too isolated out from the male and female the male and female aspects of life itself, meaning with just living, with sports, with whatever career that you want to pursue in. I feel like they're trying to come now more days. They're trying to come now with an lane for just those specific people to live and don't have to be ostracized. Thank you. Ostracized because of what they feel inside, whether or not they're biologically born with those parts or not.
All right. I'm going to try to get a very, very specific question from the both of you.
Hold on. Time out. I have to pee.
I'm going to try to get a very specific question out of you.
Okay.
Should your child come to you, let's say in 5 years, how old would they be in 5 years? 11. And say, Daddy, I feel like I am he, and I am dating this person who may or you can't even tell. You can't tell like which way it is. May or may not have been a male or female previously.
Okay, so are you asking if my daughter's still female, feels she's a female, and dating someone who might be trans?
No, your
11?
daughter tells you at 11 that your daughter, born daughter, now feels like
she's a boy.
She is a he.
Okay.
And he now wants to date they. And the they.
Look, okay.
The they is.
This is what makes me mad about the whole fucking pronouns thing.
Okay.
Like, this is why we have to have. This is why there are freaking identifications for shit. Because when you try getting rid of that shit, you get shit like this, where you're like, oh, they. Now it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I need to know, are you talking about a girl, a boy? Like, I'm sorry, but this is how society works. You have to have identifications for shit. It's okay if you want to change it, to change whatever you are. That's between you and whatever God you worship. But you can't just get rid of he and she because you don't fucking like it and it hurts your feelings. Ooh, my feelings are hurt. Fuck you, okay? You have to have identifications for shit. Otherwise, no one knows what the fuck you're talking about. If we stop calling trees, and what the fuck are you gonna call it? It's like, oh, that. It's like, what's that? It's anything over there. But anyways, going back to, you said, my daughter decides she feels he's a boy, and starts dating what? Is it a boy, a girl?
Don't know.
Doesn't matter. Don't know. It doesn't matter.
What, do you care? Do you want to know?
Okay, personally, my point of view is that my daughter, at whatever age, decides she feels she's the opposite sex, fine. But you ain't having. But until you become like at least 21 years old, you ain't having no fucking surgeries.
Okay, so would you at that point start identifying
25
your child as him? Or do you tell people I have a boy?
If you want to be a boy, be a fucking boy. You know what I mean?
So, but you'll tell people, yes, I have a boy now.
Yeah. Why would it make her life difficult?
That's what I'm asking.
Look, and to me, she's still female, but she wants to be a boy. Whatever makes her happy.
I'm gonna respect that.
Whatever makes her happy, that's what it is. But to me, she's still a girl. Now, no fucking surgeries until I say 21, but really I want to say 25 because scientifically speaking, they say your brain is not fully developed until at least 25, which means there are certain things you want to do, and then once you're like 25, I don't know the exact science of it. All right, but I know if you look it up, there's something to do with the brain that develops that at the age of 25. That once it's like that, you're stuck in your ways.
Read that.
Yeah, I mean shit.
So loud.
Dingle rats. I mean shit. Yeah,
How
that's
this
what
about
pronouns? The problem is not changing what it's called. It's changing to something that we don't know what it is. Like when you say he, you want to change it to Jit, right? Okay, so now he is Jit, but at least we know still that he is Jit, and that's identification. When you want to change he to they is multiple anything. We don't know what the fuck that is, and they already has a definition.
What's the definition of they?
It's multiple.
Is a group of people.
It's not identifying anything specific. It's just a group of people.
So
or
hold on.
beings.
All right, so hold on. So do you, a member of the alphabet soup, LGBTQLMLP?
Oh, don't forget the P's. They want to join in too.
I think like 3 P's in there or something. I don't know.
We're not actually we're not actually accepting the P's.
All right. So, you, a member of the soup, do you acknowledge theys?
I acknowledge people wanting to be themselves.
Whoa. I had a specific question.
I say no. I don't acknowledge they because I don't know what they is.
Okay.
Time out.
So you acknowledge some pronouns, but not all.
Time out.
I believe you have to have identification.
Okay.
Time
out. You have to choose identification. You can't just say I'm nothing.
Because
I am.
I have came across some people who have identified themselves as non-binary, which means that they don't classify themselves as a female or a male. Yet, once again, I do have to agree with Steph. Like there has to be some type of.
I think
there has to be some type of boundary.
It's okay to not want to be either male or female, but you have to choose what that is. You have to give that. What is that? What is the identification
once
of
again,
not wanting to be male or female? What is it?
Once again, I don't want to bring it to bibliological term, but bibliological. And the only reason why I say bibliological because me personally, as growing up as a black individual, we was only taught that there are only males and there are females in the world. Now we have now came to the agreement that they are people who have been born with both genitalias. So, but born as a black individual, you have only been raised upon that there are only males and females, and you can only go by male or female. Now, with that being said, understanding that there are people who have been born with both, but yet they don't want to be classified as male or female. Now, just to put it in simplest terms for people, just so people can understand where their pronouns come in at, they have to come to some type of simplified form. Whether you want to say, "Well, I'm more masculine" or "I'm more feminine,"
right?
Like it has to come to a point where we can identify you appropriately.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can't take they. As much as I know you want to, I'm sorry, but they is already taken, and they doesn't fucking
represents a group of people.
It's just people or beings. So you can't take something that's already existing.
Yeah, I see this so loud.
You just have to look.
No, the bottom.
You just have to make your own. You just have to make something up. If you want to say I'm neither they or he or she and be sure, fine. Sure, that's what it is. You identify it
but
as
for
sure.
the public, we need to know simply.
I'm getting that wrong.
Well, no,
Jure is probably something that they've already made, but
Jure is something I've never heard of until.
I heard some white lady on.
Yeah, Zure.
Like CBS
Zure is a thing.
One of those news channels talking about Jure and slur, and the guy started laughing at her. like straight up, is it the anchor?
Anchor.
The anchor is literally laughing at her face while she's trying to explain this because he thought it was so ridiculous. It's on YouTube. You can look it up. I guess Anchor laughs at.
If it follows the internet trend of like zaddies and stuff, then I kind of understand what they're trying to say.
Yeah, but I think their argument was they didn't want people to accept the new word. They wanted to replace existing words in the English language with that. And it's like, how do you go about that? Like, I know what you want to do, and I understand what you're trying to do, but how do you go about that? Because unfortunately, unless the people accept it, it's not going to happen. And I don't care how much you scream and cry about my feelings, the rest of the world doesn't give a shit. Because the rest of the world has
that's just plans. Being honest.
Hold on. So, I feel, personally, that the world does care. It's just certain people make it a point to say, this shit's stupid, and I'm not listening to you anymore. To that degree, I'm going to say this, because now this is my time to be a bit more controversial about my belief, okay? I believe that I can call you your pronoun of choice, but don't get mad at me if I forget it or I slip up. If I've known you and I see you as she or he because of your exterior body, and I say the phrase that I'm used to, because I have more years of my life of Earth using these particular... I doubt it. You might want to go unlock it. I have more years of my life on Earth using he or she, and then they as a group, than I do of calling a she a he, or she a they, or she a it, or whatever the case may be. That should I... The fuck is that noise? The fuck is all that noise? That it's not the same thing. That it shouldn't be looked at like I'm over here assaulting you or I'm causing some violence against you because I don't call you she, he, they, it, them, thy, the, zer, or whatever the fuck it is for the day. Okay? I will do my best out of respect for my friend and or family to call you your preferred pronoun, but it may not be every single time.
Well, I mean, it's kind of understanding.
So, hold on, wait.
Don't be a fucking snowflake.
Hold on. Oh.
Look, that's what it is.
The snowflake thing is a whole category.
Yeah, I know, but basically when I see snowflake, when I hear snowflake, it's like someone who has their feelings hurt easily. And then yells and screams about their feelings being hurt. When it's very, like, just, have understanding. They're not used to it. Give them some time.
Thank you. I have to throw the flag on the plate. Now.
Flag on the plate for what?
It's football terms.
I get that, but why? Why was there a flag on the plate?
Now, it's not to say flag on what Seth has said. Yet,
flag on him. Okay.
Yet, it's to also more detail on what Seth said. Now, with males wanting to once again, I have to go back.
But are you talking about biological males or transition males?
Transitional males.
Okay.
Understand.
So females that became males.
Males that became females.
So then transitional females.
That's what I said.
Wait.
I swear you said the other
this is why the trans community.
This is why I'm trying to. This is why I'm trying to clarify it.
It causes a lot of confusion.
This is why I'm trying to clarify it.
Confusion. When you say transitional male, most people aren't sure what you mean by it. Is it male to female or is it female to male? And then people start getting these things mixed up, and it's like.
So when it comes to transitional females, which is male to female transition,
right?
I feel like personally that transitional I'm gonna say transitional person, so people don't get confused on what I mean.
Okay, yeah.
So when that transition person, like, it only comes up to, once again, how long have you been going through this transition to where you feel as if you belong in the female category. Now, if you just transition 2 days and say, oh, well, I feel like I'm a female, I don't feel like it's right for you to place yourself into female categories when you just only started.
Yeah, again, it's like a rite of passage. You have to earn
you have to earn that respect.
Pause,
yeah. Really.
Pause. You said you went over that about 20 minutes ago, and I get that. That's fine. Somebody has to have the surgery, has had to have gone through, in some states, the psychological evaluation
awareness of a female
therapy, because there's mental therapy you have to do in some states to do a transition.
Yeah.
In order to officially become that sex. Now, you then also have the people who want to go back. They made a change and say, you know what? I was wrong. This ain't for me. Take me back.
Which is why I said,
which is okay.
Which is why I said when he asked if I decided she wanted to be a boy, I said there would be, if she wants to be a boy, she can be a boy, but there would be no surgeries until she's an adult. Until at least 21 to 25. Understandable. Because I don't want her making that, because at anything behind less than that, she's too young to make a decision like that.
Well, consensually.
Now wait,
let me finish. Okay, my daughter talking about. I don't want her at a young age, because look, young people are very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Impressionable. I don't want them, and they're going through puberty, they're going through high school. There's a lot of influences going through there that can make them feel they want something. I mean, how many times have you gone to high school, felt you want to do something, and then grow up and completely change your mind? But when you're older, you know exactly what you want, and you stick with it when you're older. Well, I just don't want her at the younger age. If she wants to eventually have a surgery, it's fine. I just want to make sure that when she does, she wants it, and she wants to keep it. I don't want her to come back like, oh, fuck, I regret doing that. You know what I mean?
You're off camera.
That's my only thing. I want to make sure that when she does it, she's old enough to know that there's no going back, and that she's not going to regret making her decision.
And I have to put my 2 cents in. And once again, I have to agree. Like at some point, understanding that you mentally feel like this isn't the gender that you personally feel like you're supposed to be in, yet there's also a age of consent. I personally feel like there's supposed to be an age of consent where you feel like, okay, well, I don't feel like I'm this gender, but I want to be this gender. I feel like there has to be a type of, once again, children are impressionable of what they currently see in their normal day-to-day lives.
Well, pause. I want to ask this question just so I get an understanding. At what point, because obviously, if you feel like the person is under or too young to make a logical choice for their own personal belief, at what point and what age do you feel is right? And should the state be able to determine when you can decide you feel like you're a woman? Or
first of all, I'm going to say this before you, the government in general should never have the power to determine what you can do with your body. Never. Okay. Under any circumstance. I don't care if you're talking about abortion, transgender, because if you give the government that power, I don't care what you believe, you're fucked.
Okay.
They can start saying, you know what? Let's start putting chips in you. You have no fucking choice. Let's start doing shit with your brain, and you have no choice. Okay. Because you now gave the government power to do it.
Okay, well, hold on. So if the government can't tell you at this point or at this point you are or not, who is to say? Do you walk up to somebody? I don't feel like you're a woman. Get out my bathroom.
It's your opinion.
So who says when somebody is or is not a woman?
Once again,
it comes to limits and what you're willing to accept.
Once again, it also ties into how much time you have put in to be more so.
I
get that point, but
when I say willing to accept, I mean
so hold on. I think you're missing what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if we acknowledge that at some point, you can be referred to as a woman or a man if you're transitioning. Mm-hmm. When is that point, and who regulates it?
To be honest,
I personally feel like the government shouldn't tell you whether or not you are what you are. Like, it all depends on the being themselves. Whether or not you feel like you can be 12 and be like, I don't feel like I'm a male. I feel like I'm more so feminine, or I just give a very much feminine energy. Like, but then again, I don't feel like a child at the age of 12, 13, 14, that they should be given the consent to get that sexual change done until they're that age of consent, where like you're old enough to fill out documents on your own.
I was saying earlier.
But that goes back to a government situation.
Again, but no, 9 times out of 10, yes, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't have to deal with the government. More so, it also depends on the mental capability of that person.
It's determined by the government, but the government is also saying you now have a choice at this age. It is for their protection. It isn't like they're preventing them from being themselves.
Because you do have those people. Now,
I don't think the government should ever have any kind of decision on whether transgender male can go into a female bathroom or male bathroom.
Exactly.
But I don't think this argument will ever have an end, because there's either two outcomes. Either A, it'll never be accepted either way, because
or they just give them their
own very far extreme
personal lane
to the transition, and you walk into the bathroom you're born as, you're not accepted. And if you walk into the other one, it's like, will I be judged? Will they know? Anything like that. But more like if you're that far, they won't ever know, honestly. But unless the world, or I should say, just say the country, decides to come together and just start making dedicated a third bathroom for people of transgender.
I was gonna ask that. Should it just be a separate bathroom?
The government, no, we will always be on this argument, but there will never be an end. So unless companies do that, which is corporations, whether they're willing to put the money to doing these kind of things.
So should there be 3 bathrooms, male, female, trans, or male, female, trans, female?
No, I think it should be male, female, trans, or just say fuck it and just have a bathroom. Here's the thing. You can have a bathroom. There are bathrooms for everybody to walk in. Of course, you've all been in those stores where anyone can walk into the restroom. But when we talk about things like the mall, Walmart, big restaurants where there's lots of people and not everyone's going to wait for one person at a time to go in, but we're going to allow multiple people to walk in, there's got to be 3. Otherwise, you're going to be otherwise, no matter what your opinion is on whether they should go on, you will never come to an end. It's like religion versus science. You'll never have a middle ground, and adding a third bathroom is the only way you will have that middle ground. And everyone will be happy.
What should that third bathroom be?
It should just be for general, whoever wants to use it.
Okay, so anybody.
It'll just be a one-stall bathroom, because what are the chances of you walking in?
Well, they have it now. They call it family.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It'll be a neutral bathroom. Now, depending on your location, Las Vegas, you might have multiple stalls for transgender people. Versus if you were in like an old Southern church, you probably won't even see it. But if you're in an old Southern church and they did allow it, it'll just be one bathroom, one toilet. That's it. You know what I mean? The number of toilets in the neutral bathroom will be determined on where you live, because how many people of those type of people would come in, would use the restroom.
Well, come on, we're gonna finish it off on this.
Okay.
It's been an hour long. And it's probably about to quit on us again.
Okay, so with the bathroom situation, I can understand if there is a point where they have to make a bathroom by itself just for the trans people to just be able to go to the bathroom in peace. I still feel like we're gonna be we're still gonna be almost it's almost segregation
like whites only kind of thing.
Yeah. So me personally, it's like a win-lose type of battle.
Right, but it won't have a label. It'll just be a neutral bathroom for anyone to walk into.
But yet, you're going to still have the people who feel like that bathroom is just...
Yeah. It goes back to what I was saying earlier about accepting your limit.
Also.
Choosing your battles. Which do you prefer? No. Walking into a bathroom where you won't be judged, or choosing a bathroom where you just have all these hardships?
So, hold on. So, if you feel like this is a bit of like a segregation of separating, saying anybody who's not binary has to go over here, then how wouldn't it be the same for the other way to say that, hey, if your personal belief is you are cisgender female, cisgender male, you now have to accept this other person, because we're not going to make another bathroom. You have to take them in.
I think
now, which way is bad?
I think what will change is
now with that being said, and I have to once again I'm gonna say 2 different type of stories or 2 different type of scenarios, but the first scenario is going to give off whether or not the people accept trans being in the community. Okay, so you do have those people who. Like, okay, well, there are people who aren't male, they are biologically male, but they identify themselves as a female. We can live with those people as long as they be true to what they are as an individual, which means they can say that they're females, but we want them to biologically identify themselves as a male, right? Okay, and you also have whatever. But you also have those people who video. But you also have people who be like, well, I still feel like they're males and they need to be in the male section. Yet that's also ostracizing people to make people. It's almost as if you're bullying them to pick whether or not they want to be male or female. So I feel like it's like a win-lose situation for the people in the trans community.
I think
because
adding a third restroom will overall make things easier for the trans community. Because you take the decision of having to choose your battles. But in the end, if you feel that adding a third restroom is going to segregate you into like, oh, this is, you go here, you can't go here. First of all, I'm just going to say, we have to take out the argument of you can't. Because in the end, you have to choose. I'm a man. If I choose to go to the female restroom, I can fucking do it. Now, I have to face those consequences.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I have to face the consequences. So I think the problem is we have to start taking out the can't, and we have to replace it with whether or not
you're willing to go through
face the consequences of your actions. If you can be okay with just using the neutral restroom, you won't face any segregation or anything like that. Nobody really knows. I mean, it's for everyone. You know what I mean? Anybody can walk into that restroom and use it.
Well, hold on.
But I understand that some would feel,
no, because I find that there's a good argument to correlate that across. So there's people who feel like a lot of the black people have been getting violence put upon them by the police. That if they had just accepted or complied with whatever the cop was doing, then they would have been just fine and they wouldn't have got the situation. So it's the same thing. If you accept the consequences of resisting whatever the cop is
saying,
as me being a African, I'm not gonna say black, because there are dark-skinned people who are not of African descent, but they are American descent.
What?
There's a difference. There's a difference of you being of
I'm
African
so baffled
descent.
by that statement, but okay, continue.
Okay, what I'm going to say is now, whether or not you identify yourself as a African descent or American descent, there's a difference. I see what you're saying. There's a difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference. Now, whether or not people want to respect you as much as being either African descent or American descent, there has to be a point in time where people can normalize that there are these type of people in a universe. I'm not going to say a world or just as in universe. There has to be a point where people can... It's almost like people have to educate themselves on...
What?
I think what Tyson's trying to say is that with the argument of choosing American versus African descent, they're trying to get rid of race and just choose that we are people of Earth.
Really?
That's what he's trying to say. He's trying to say, do you get rid of I'm African American, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm white, European, whatever, and just say we are people of Earth. We might be different color, but we're not.
We're all people.
We're just the same.
We all bleed the same.
Hold on. So because we are definitely drifting, and it's getting more and more.
I have to make that mention because that be the topic that people want to make the argument about, based about.
Hold on. He's almost done. Just let me finish.
That's what I had to. And I know it's sidetracking, but I have to make that announcement because people would like to make arguments based on race when it don't be about race. It just be about the knowledge of knowing of what is also existing in the world that we live in today.
Going back to your point about police brutality, I feel it's a little different when you come to transgender and restroom because police brutality is you have an all powerful police force that can do whatever they want to you, and you can't do anything about it.
Can sweep it under
Whereas,
the rug within
if you're
seconds.
trans and walk into the restroom, say you look like a dude and you want to be a female, and you walk to the female restroom and all of a sudden the females are throwing shit at you, or they look at you weird, or they call the cops, or whatever the reason, right? I mean, that's not exactly the same as police brutality.
And he's right about
that. I'm not saying that people getting mad because you're in a girl's bathroom or guy's bathroom is the same as the police shooting you dead for no reason at a traffic stop. What I'm saying is to say that if your statement before was if you're willing to accept the repercussions, the consequences of said action,
right, then
do it. So some people felt the same way. That was their statement. That if you just accept whatever the cop is doing to you, then you wouldn't have these.
Let me clarify. Okay. When it comes to cops,
wait, hold on, stop. Because now we're going into police and police.
No. I just have to make sure I'm correct. Right.
We have to specify.
I'm a black guy, right? I'm a black. You're okay. Say, I'm going to use myself. Say theoretically, just say in the world, I'm a black guy. I'm speeding down the road. I know I'm speeding. Now, what I accept is that if I get pulled over, I'm going to get that ticket. I've accepted that because I'm still speeding, and I don't care. I'm just hoping I don't get caught. What I accept as a black guy is that if I get pulled over by the cop, I'm going to get that ticket.
Because I know I'm doing in the wrong. I do not accept
the cop to kill me because I'm speeding. That's the difference. It's not about just accepting whatever happens to you. It's that when you're speeding, you know you'll get a ticket because that's the law. It's not the law that they're going to shoot you fucking dead. The law is that you'll get a ticket. That's what I accept. But I'm going to speed.
No. I have a side note. That needs to be talked about. No, I will try to argue. It needs to be talked about. It needs to be talked about. It needs to be talked about.
If I get pulled up, I will try to argue and wiggle my way out of it. Sure. But if I get the ticket, I know I fucking deserve it. I know that I fucking deserve
what
it.
What I says has to be talked about
but
because
that doesn't mean that I'm going to accept
it ties into what's going on today.
By the cop because I was speeding. No, I accept what I know what happened to me, not anything that'll happen to me. That's what I was trying to say. Because you said, "Oh, I just accept anything." No.
Hold on.
Charles
so you are
turn off his black and white
now?
For a bit, like
get to the black and white.
Switch. I'm white now. Credit score now gone through the roof.
Now. What I have to say before you go into what you have to say, my thing is.
Wait, so I just need you to know when you finish what you're saying, this is your closing arguments. There's nothing else for you to say after you say what you're about to say.
No,
we need to end this video because again, the camera's gonna shut off one more time, and at that point, we're not gonna turn it back on again.
Okay. So when it comes to police brutality and being of a transgender individual, the difference in between those two is with the police brutality, you do have those people who like to blame it on police brutality, but yet you are doing something that is of criminal background to where the police have no choice but to take those authoritarian
you're right.
precautions.
If you're doing something,
now as a transgender individual, you do have those people who just go off prejudice, and they're like, "Oh, well, I see you as a male, and you trying to go off as a female. I feel like you're trying to trick the straight community into being as this female when you're really a male, and that's what goes." And mind you, it don't be that 9 times out of 10. It generally be the male being upset with the transgender individual being themselves, and they're not be able to accepting of what they actually like as an individual. Once again, what goes into kink shaming, but we already talked about kink shaming. But as a society, we have to make it not normalized, but we have to make it known that these are these type of people that exist in the world, and we can't shame them for what they like or what they choose to do sexual intercourse's way. If you know, if that makes any type of sense. Like,
I know Spivey was thinking.
Hold on. If this is a real wall.
Look.
I am not in that conversation
Before anybody comes, because I would make comment. I'm not going to comment on it because then we'll just extend the video. Go ahead and make your closing arguments. We can always get back on the topic of police brutality at the end of the video.
Yes.
So look, clearly, we just touched on a whole can of 50 cans of worms, and that's not for today, nor the title of what this was supposed to be about. So for an hour and 12 minutes, 41 seconds or so, you've bared with us through a lot. Please comment down below your thoughts on the various different topics, and we will go from there.
Let us know who y'all are more not so much debating for, but what side are you more so seeing? Like, understandable that there's people who can see both sides of a situation. Not trying to say that you have to pick one or the other situation.
Choose a side
and be realistic about it. Like, don't be personal about, like, you have a personal vendetta or whatever.
Yeah, no, I don't want to say choose a side. Just what's your opinion on it?
What's your opinion?
We need to end this video.
And to you, Charles, I think next time I have the ability now to add you in to the conversation, so you can actually call me. We'll talk offline. Facebook me. And I will give you the number, and what we'll do is we'll bring you in so you can actually talk and be part of the conversation. You have been on the channel enough
because he's been commenting a lot. He's been trying to get his little voice heard.
He's always a faithful supporter of the channel, and he comments, and so we're going to let you come in to do conversations as well.
Because I want to know what Charles got to say, because Charles, I see you comment a lot, and I just want to know where your stance is on this specific topic. We ain't trying to talk about you being a fan and you like what the fuck was being said, but we want to know your personal
just
stand.
Make sure there's no confusion. I'm white now.
You turned back.
I'm of African American descent.
I've decided I am white again. I'm not black.
Your 10 minutes of being black. You had enough.
I had enough. Too much discrimination. Nope. I'm good. I like my privilege.
For your ass, boy. All right, but so comment down below.
Black guy appeared on our radar.
Comment down below. This video is over. We out. I don't think we're going to do another one tonight because, boy, this one took a left turn and then 40 lefts after that. So
it's motherfucking Ace Mafia and the bitch was goody in the motherfucking hoodie, bitch. Yeah, and we out. Fuck you talking about?
Again, this is Spivey. You know where to find me. This is
Nix.
And this is
Ace, motherfucking princess of motherfucking Norcross, princess of motherfucking Valdosta, bitch, was good. And I came to shake the motherfucking live what's good, bitch. Yo, ain't shit.
Wow, again, I feel like a peasant.
I wasn't ready.
I'm gonna hit that stop button.
Alright, y'all, we out.
Yeah.
You gotta hit